Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Nikki Newman had survived more storms than most people endure in a lifetime, but nothing, and truly nothing, prepared her for the chilling realization that she had just walked herself into the center of Matt Clark's final, deadly revenge plan. It started with a tremor in her hand, one she blamed on nerves, stress, the never-ending Newman family chaos. But deep down, she knew the truth she refused to acknowledge: Matt wasn't done. Not with Victor. Not with Nick. Not with Sharon. And now, horrifyingly, not with her. The revelations that had trickled out over the past few weeks, Matt's secret alias, the mysterious appearances, the terrifying Noah game he toyed with, the whispers about manipulation and psychological warfare, had led to one unavoidable, icy conclusion. Matt wasn't simply haunting the Newman family. He was building toward a final act, a grand finale meant to destroy them in ways physical violence never could. Nikki, with trembling breath and pounding heart, realized she had been chosen as the next piece on his twisted chessboard. But what she had not expected was the secret she had carried for decades. The one buried so deep she prayed no one would ever unearth it, had now become the weapon Matt intended to use. And with this weight pressing down on her shoulders, she knew she could no longer keep it hidden. So she did something she rarely did. She sought Jack Abbott, the one person she trusted with the truth, even when it could shatter everything. Jack wasn't prepared for what hit him when Nikki walked into his office at Jabot looking pale, breathless, and on the verge of collapse. He assumed it was about Victor, because isn't everything always about Victor Newman? But when he asked if she was all right, Nikki didn't answer. She shut the door, locked it, and stared at him with a tear-glazed, haunted look that instantly made his stomach drop. "Jack, you need to sit down," she whispered, her voice barely steady. He complied, though reluctantly, sensing a storm brewing. Nikki paced, gripping her arms tightly as if bracing herself against the truth she was about to unleash. And then she said it, 4 words that turned Jack's blood cold. "Matt knows my secret." Jack felt the room tilt. Nikki Newman had secrets, yes. Painful ones. Tragic ones. Some involving Victor, some involving alcohol, some involving old mistakes resurfacing at the worst possible times. But the way she said it, the dread in her eyes, it wasn't just a scandal. It wasn't just something embarrassing or morally gray. This was something catastrophic. "What secret, Nikki?" Jack pressed, voice barely above a whisper. But Nikki looked away. She couldn't say it yet. Instead, she explained something else, something equally horrifying. Matt had contacted her. Not directly. But he sent her a message woven with just enough detail to make it clear he knew something she thought no one could possibly know. Jack stood frozen, every instinct screaming danger. Matt Clark was many things: manipulative, vindictive, obsessive, but he wasn't reckless. If he hinted he knew something, he knew it. If he claimed he had a plan, he had one. And Nikki, trembling, finally explained that Matt intended to destroy her reputation, her sobriety, her marriage, and possibly even her life. "He wants to ruin me, Jack," she said, voice choking. "Not physically, emotionally. Publicly. Completely. And he's going to use something from my past to do it." Jack's panic rose instantly. He grabbed Nikki's shoulders gently but firmly. "You have to tell me what this is," he urged. "I can't protect you if I don't know." But Nikki hesitated, her breath shallow, as if the confession itself might destroy her. She finally sunk onto the couch, covering her face with her hands. And then, in a voice so faint Jack had to lean in to hear, she whispered the truth. The confession hit Jack like a truck. He stared at Nikki, stunned, speechless, unable to process the magnitude of what she had just revealed. He felt his entire body go cold. "Nikki, how is this possible?" he stammered. Nikki wiped the tears streaming down her face, her composure shattering. "I never wanted anyone to know," she whispered. "Victor doesn't know. The kids don't know. No one knows. I buried it. I prayed it would stay buried. But Matt had found it, somehow, some way, and now he intended to turn it into a weapon that could destroy the woman Victor Newman adored, the backbone of the entire Newman family. Jack's mind raced as he tried to understand how Matt uncovered a secret that Nikki had spent decades hiding. The only possibility was that Matt had someone helping him, someone who had access to Newman archives, old legal documents, medical records, or personal files. Someone who had been digging deep enough to find something even Victor never uncovered. Jack stood abruptly, pacing as panic surged through him. Nikki, this isn't just bad. This is catastrophic. If Matt exposes this, but Nikki cut him off. He won't expose it publicly. Not yet. He wants me to suffer first. He wants me terrified. Vulnerable. Alone. He wants me to break. Jack froze. That was classic Matt Clark. He didn't strike all at once. He chipped away, piece by piece, until his target was mentally destroyed. And Nikki realized she had already played into his hands by letting fear consume her. Jack knelt beside her, taking her hands. Listen to me. We are not letting him do this. I am not letting him do this. But Nikki shook her head, her voice cracking. Jack, you don't know what he plans. He told me, he intends to make someone pay with their life before this is over. And that made Jack go still. For the first time since this nightmare began, Nikki told Jack the second part of Matt's message, the part she wished she could forget. Matt had spelled it out clearly, a Newman will die before I'm finished. But he hadn't said which one. And that fact alone made the threat infinitely more terrifying. Jack felt the gravity of the situation slam into him. We have to tell Victor, he said. But Nikki panicked instantly. She grabbed Jack's arm, shaking her head violently. Jack, no. Victor can't know. If he finds out, he'll explode. He'll go after Matt, and Matt will use that chaos to strike faster. Victor will walk into a trap. She wasn't wrong. Victor, fueled by rage, would take matters into his own hands, exactly the impulsive reaction Matt could exploit. Jack exhaled shakily, realizing there was no easy solution. Then what do you want to do? He asked softly. Nikki looked up at him, the weight of her secret heavier than ever. I need help, just not from Victor. Not yet. And Jack understood instantly, she wanted him to help her keep the secret safe, while she figured out how to stop Matt. But what horrified him wasn't the secret itself, it was the knowledge that Matt had already accounted for every possible reaction Nikki could have. He wasn't improvising. He wasn't bluffing. He was executing a long-form plan, and Nikki was just one of several targets. Jack's voice wavered as he asked the one question that haunted him. Nikki, do you think Matt wants to kill you? Nikki hesitated, her eyes filling with fresh tears. I think, he wants to destroy me first. And then he wants to destroy Victor. Whether he kills me or someone else. I don't know anymore. Jack's entire body tensed. That was all he needed to hear. He stood, grabbed his phone, and told Nikki he was putting extra security around her immediately, no arguments. She nodded weakly, still shaking. But deep down, both of them knew security alone wouldn't stop Matt. Not if he'd already infiltrated the Newman world from the inside. Jack continued pacing, strategizing, thinking out loud. Matt must have someone feeding him everything. Someone close enough to dig into your past. Someone close enough to track your movements. Someone close enough to know exactly what pressure points to hit. Nikki swallowed hard. Are you saying one of our own is helping him? Jack stared at her, expression grim. I'm saying Matt couldn't have found this secret alone. Someone is working with him, and they know more about you than they should. Nikki felt her stomach drop. The thought of betrayal, intimate, calculated betrayal, sent her spiraling. Could it be someone in the Newman organization? Someone from her past? Someone who wanted vengeance of their own? She sat in silence, trembling as Jack knelt beside her again. You're not alone, he reassured her, squeezing her hands. Whatever the secret is, whatever Matt thinks he can do, we will outsmart him. We will protect you. I'm not letting him destroy you. But Nikki suddenly looked up, eyes wide with dread. Jack, there's something else I didn't tell you. Jack's heart stopped. Nikki took a deep breath and whispered, Matt doesn't just know my secret. He wants me to confess it publicly. He wants it to blow up my marriage. My family. Everything Victor and I have rebuilt. Jack stared at her in horror. Matt wasn't just trying to punish Nikki, he was trying to rip her entire world apart from the inside. And as Jack tried to gather his thoughts, Nikki revealed the worst part of all, Jack. Matt said if I don't confess, he will. And with those words, the truth hit Jack full force. Nikki Newman wasn't just in danger. She was the center of Matt's next attack. And if they didn't stop him soon, the entire Newman family would pay the price. Jack Abbott wasn't often shaken, but as Nikki Newman's confession settled heavily between them, he felt a dread he hadn't experienced in years. This wasn't just another Newman scandal, another shadow from the past creeping into the present. This was a targeted hit, orchestrated by Matt Clark with the precision of a man who had obsessed over his revenge for decades. And Nikki, poor, trembling Nikki, was the beating heart of Matt's next phase. Jack tried to breathe, to steady himself, but the weight of what Nikki entrusted him with was almost too much. He stood by the window of his office, staring down at the city as if answers might appear written in the lights below. Behind him, Nikki sat curled into herself, hands trembling, her normally polished composure shattered. Jack had seen her fight through addiction, through trauma, through heartbreak, but this was different. Matt had crawled into her mind, into her history, and unearthed something she had locked away so tightly she never imagined anyone could find it. Nikki, Jack finally murmured, turning back toward her. We need to think this through. Slowly. Logically. But Nikki shook her head violently. There's no time for slow, Jack. You didn't hear the way he said it. You didn't see the message. He's escalating. Every hour that passes, he's gaining ground. Jack crouched in front of her, lifting her chin gently so their eyes met. Which is why we need to be smart. Panicking is exactly what Matt wants. Still trembling, Nikki forced herself to breathe, to listen, to cling to Jack's voice like it was the only thing keeping her upright. He wants me unstable, she whispered. He wants Victor to see me unraveling. And then he wants to strike when I'm at my weakest, and Victor is distracted. Jack swallowed hard. He's counting on the fact that you'll try to hide this from Victor. Nikki flinched. Jack saw it, the guilt, the fear, the shame. I can't tell him yet, she said, voice strained. Victor would go on the warpath, and Matt knows that. He wants Victor enraged, reckless, making himself vulnerable. Jack knew she was right. Victor Newman had many strengths, but calm rationality when his family was threatened was not one of them. Still, keeping Victor in the dark felt dangerous. Too dangerous. Jack exhaled and stood, pacing again. Matt is isolating you, Jack said. That's the first step of abusers and manipulators. Corner the victim. Make them feel alone so they make desperate decisions. Nikki clasped her hands together. But I'm not alone. Not now. I have you. Jack froze, the weight of her trust hitting him like a punch. He nodded, fighting the lump forming in his throat. Always. But as comforting as that moment was, it was fleeting. Nikki sat up straighter, fear hardening into determination. Jack, there's more. He said something else. Something terrifying. She hesitated, then delivered the blow. Matt said he has someone close to me, someone inside the Newman circle, feeding him everything. Jack stopped breathing for a moment. Inside the family? Nikki shook her head. Inside the operation. Someone who has access to my files. My movements. My history. Someone who knows exactly what Victor doesn't. And just like that, the threat doubled, because Matt Clark wasn't acting alone. He had a collaborator, someone with intimate access to the Newman ecosystem. Jack sat beside her. We need to figure out who it is. But Nikki let out a defeated breath. Jack. I don't know who I can trust anymore. She leaned into him, and Jack instinctively wrapped an arm around her shoulders. The moment lingered, two people bound by decades of friendship, heartbreak, and unspoken understanding. But just as Nikki found a moment of calm, a sudden sharp knock on the office door jolted her upright. Her eyes widened. No, Jack, don't answer it. Jack motioned for her to stay quiet. He approached the door cautiously, opening it only a crack. It was Kyle Abbott, looking annoyed but oblivious to the storm raging inside. Dad, we need to talk about. Jack shut the door on him instantly. Not now, Kyle. Kyle's confused voice echoed through the door, but Nikki barely heard it. Her heart thundered as she whispered, Jack, what if Matt is watching us right now? The idea chilled Jack. He scanned the room. He'd have to get past Jabbo security. The building, but Nikki cut him off. This is Matt Clark. He manipulates, he infiltrates, he waits. He could have planted someone weeks ago. Jack stiffened. He couldn't dismiss it. Not with the way this nightmare was unfolding. Nikki, still trembling, finally rose from the couch and walked toward the window, staring out at the darkening Genoa city skyline. I thought I was past all of this, she whispered. I rebuilt myself. I rebuilt my marriage. I rebuilt my life. And now it's all unraveling because of one man who refuses to stay dead. Jack walked to her, placing a gentle hand on her back. You didn't cause this. Matt is sick, twisted, and obsessed. He's been waiting for the perfect time to strike, and now he thinks he's found it. Nikki turned toward him, tears spilling again. He said if I don't come clean, he'll force me to. Jack. I'm terrified. Jack took her face in his hands. Look at me. We will stop him. I'll protect you. I swear it. Nikki nodded, though she looked unconvinced. But the moment their eyes met, something shifted inside Nikki, resolve, fire, a strength she had buried under years of guilt and fear. She straightened her shoulders. Jack, maybe I should tell Victor. Jack hesitated. Are you sure? Nikki shook her head. No. But maybe it's the only way. Jack took a deep breath. Let's think it through. If we tell Victor now, he'll immediately assume the worst. He'll turn Genoa City upside down. And Matt will anticipate that. He's baiting Victor. You know it. Nikki closed her eyes tightly. Then what do I do? Sit here and wait for Matt to ruin my life? Destroy my family? Take one of us away? The quake in her voice revealed her deepest fear, that Matt wasn't just threatening her emotionally. He had promised blood. Jack, what if he means it? What if someone really dies? Jack's expression hardened. Then we make sure it isn't you. But Nikki, wringing her hands again, whispered, Jack, the secret, if it comes out, it won't just hurt me. It will destroy Victor. It will destroy our marriage. He'll never forgive me. Jack looked at her with deep sympathy. Nikki, listen to me. Relationships built on decades of love can survive a secret. They don't survive murder. Nikki flinched. Matt wants me to confess, but I can't. I'll lose everything. Before Jack could respond, Nikki's phone buzzed in her purse. The sound sliced through the silence like a knife. Nikki backed away from the bag as if it were a venomous snake. Jack, that's him. I know it. Jack reached toward the purse. Let me check. But Nikki grabbed his wrist. No. He said if anyone else reads his messages, he'll move faster. Jack froze. He's watching you that closely? Nikki nodded slowly. He wanted me terrified. And it worked. Hands trembling, she reached into the purse and pulled out the phone. A single text message glowed on the screen. Tick-tock, Nikki. Time is running out. Confess, or someone else will pay for you. Nikki dropped the phone as if it had burned her. Jack snatched it off the floor, eyes widening as he read it. He's escalating, Jack muttered. He's putting a timeline on this. He wants immediate action. Nikki staggered backward, gripping the edge of Jack's desk. Jack, what if he means one of my children? What if it's Victoria?